ज़रा तो कर रहे हैं काम कर दी। Students, now we are going to read Kubla Khan. Is a poem by S.T. Coleridge, and I will be reading out poetic lines of this poem, and then underneath is its explanation. So the poem tells us, in Xanadu did Kubla Khan a stately prayer dome decree, whereof the sacred river ran through caverns measureless to man, down to a sunless sea. So 5 miles of fertile ground, with walls and towers were girdled round, and there were gardens bright with sinuous rills, where blossomed many an incense-bearing tree, and here were forests ancient as the hills, enfolding sunny spots of greenery. Now is the explanation of these 11 lines. Kubla Khan ordered a magnificent player palace to be built for him in Xanadu. The palace was to be situated on the bank of sacred river Elbe, which is flowing through immeasurably deep caves, ultimately sank into a dark subterranean sea. So a piece of fertile land, 10 square miles in area, was enclosed with walls and towers. This palace had bright gardens, winding streams, and aromatic trees bearing sweet-smelling flowers. There were also forests as old as hills, enclosing in their midst sunny spaces full of green spots. Okay, now is the slide number 2. Again, the lines 12 to 16 have been explained. But oh, that deep romantic chasm which slanted down the green hill athwart a cedarn cover, a savage place as holy and enchanted as ever beneath a waning moon was haunted by woman wailing for her demon lover, and from this chasm with ceaseless turmoil seething, as if this earth in fast thick pants were breathing, a mighty fountain momently was forced, amid whose swift half intermitted burst, huge fragments vaulted like rebounding hail or chaffy grain beneath the thresher's flail, and amid these dancing rocks at once and ever it flung up momently the sacred river, 5 miles meandering with a mazy motion. Explanation. The most remarkable thing at this place was a deep, mysterious gorge that ran down the slope of a green hill across a wood of cedar trees. It was a wild and awe-inspiring place haunted by women wandering about in search of her demon lover. In the dim light of a waning moon, the demon appeared to the woman as her lover, and after having made love to her, deserted her. The woman, unable to forget him, but fully realizing that he was a demon, haunts such wild places to look for him. Students, this is slide number 3, lines 17 to 24. There are poetic lines, and underneath I would again say is the explanation of these 17 to 24 lines. By woman wailing for her demon lover, and from this chaos with ceaseless turmoil seething, as if this earth in fast, thick pants were breathing, a mighty fountain momently was forced, amid whose swift hail intermitted burst huge fragments vaulted like rebounding hail, or chaffy grain beneath the thresher's flail, and amid these dancing rocks at once and ever it flung up momently the sacred river, 5 miles meandering with a mazy motion through wood and dale. The sacred river ran, then reached the caverns mirrorless to man. Explanation: a powerful spring of water gushed forth from this gorge at momentary interval, making an incessant roaring sound, striking the spring violently, emitting huge masses of water, looked like the heavily gasping earth. The powerful outburst of water threw huge fragments of rocks that fell on the earth and rebounded like hailstones, the striking earth and flying off, or like grains leaping up from the earth when beaten with a flail by a warmer trying to separate them from chalk. Noise is slide number 4. And sank in tumult to a lifeless ocean, and amid this tumult Kubla heard from far ancestral voices prophesying war. The shadow of the dome of Player floated midway on the waves, where was heard the mingled mire from the fountain and the caves. It was a miracle of rare device, a sunny Player dome with caves of ice. Explanation: the sacred river Alps flowed 5 miles long through the woods and valleys. Then it entered the immeasurably deep caves and finally sank in the Dead Sea, producing a loud noise. Amidst this noise, Kubla Khan heard the voices of his ancestors prophesying future wars. The Player Palace was built somewhere midway between mighty spring and caves mirrorless to man. From the palace could be heard the mixed sound of the water gushing forth from the spring and the water noisily flowing through the caves. The Player Palace was a specimen of amazing architectural skill. It had sunny domes but icy cold underground walls. Okay students, this is slide number 5. First, what you view are the lines, poetic lines, and then in slide 6 you will read the explanation of these lines, poetic lines. A damsel with a dulcimer in a vision once I saw. It was an Abyssinian maid, and on her dulcimer she played, singing of Mount Abora. Could I revive within me her symphony and song to such a deep delight, it would win me, that with music loud and long I would build that dome in air, that sunny dome, those caves of ice, and all who heard should see them there, and all should cry, beware, beware, his flashing eyes, his floating hair, weave a circle round her thrice, and close your eyes with holy dread, for he on honeydew hath fed, and drunk the milk of paradise. This poem is in the public domain. Okay. Explanation. Students, this is slide number 6, and in this paragraph explanation is given. Explanation of the lines that I have just read out. to you. Once in strange vision, the poet saw an Abyssinian maid playing her dulcimer and singing a sweet song about Mount Abora. The poet says if he could recapture the sweet melody of a Abyssinian maid, it would fill him with such a divine inspiration that he would write powerful poetry to give a vivid description of Kubla Khan's player dome palace, and all those who heard him would be able to see that palace in the air. They would then think of the poet as a mighty magician. They would see his floating hair and his flashing eyes and would be filled with great awe and fear. They would go round him thrice to protect themselves from his magical paws. His poetic frenzy would make them think that he was a superhuman being fed on the honeydew and the milk of paradise, and they would warn one another to keep away from him. Students, I have given poetic lines of Kubla Khan, and then those poetic lines have been explained. If you do not understand, or if there is a complication, or if there is a problem, do call me please, so that I may make clear to you the things that are ambiguous to you. Thank you.